Come on, bring it in, guys. You know what time it is. Oh, man, let's breathe in. Wow, like, I want you to get excited about this one because I want you to get pumped up. You know what time it is. Sunday is the new Monday. We show up, we execute, we grind, we do everything in our power to make our mark. Let's say it from the belly. You know what time it is. It's knockout time, baby. Come on. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. So I want to say this to you guys. So we're in the last Sunday of February. Like we got one more month in the first quarter, and I want to be the one to tell you that it's gonna be a wrap. Like the first quarter would be over. You know, I'm my own cameraman, so it seems like the wind's gonna be taking this one, but I probably would have to change and start again. But I want to say this: I realized that for me to continue to be the amazing human being that God created me to be, I had to make a decision that I was not gonna quit. Like no matter how difficult it got, I was not going to quit. So I just finished the gym, right? So I'm standing right outside my gym. And I thought to myself, like this morning I woke up and I was thinking, when is it going to be my time? Like, when is it going to be my time that I'm able to travel the world and speak? When is it going to be my time that I'm getting these bookings all across the world? And I'm like, God, you know, I know that you got something waiting for me. I know that everything that I've gone through in the past, it wasn't an accident. I know now I'm a published author of 4 books. I know that now I've beat COVID and I've survived COVID. I was hospitalized and now I'm making my comeback. Now from a college dropout, struggling with learning disability, dyslexia, and dyspraxia. Now from a broken heart, now I'm happily married with 2 beautiful children. I said, God, I'm not there yet. No, I'm grateful. But I haven't touched the world yet, God. When is going to be my time, God? And I realized that there are many of you out there just like me, like you've been working, you've been showing up, you've been executing, you've been doing everything in your power to make your mark and to make your dream become a reality. And somehow you get some days that you don't feel like it. Like you say, God, look, I'm not making money. I'm not making, you know, the kind of income that you said you promised me. And abundance is not coming. I want to talk to that person right now. Like, this is not for everybody. I want to talk to that person right now that you have showed up, you've executed, you've dedicated, and, you know, you've been making your mark, but somehow you seem like you're not getting your reward. I want to tell you, it's not your time yet. Like, I want you to know this. Like, the great things happen to great people, but it's not your time yet. I want to tell you something. Your time is coming, and in the process, you must just wait. I want you to understand it. In the process, you must just wait. Because believe me, you know, there are many of us that somehow in the waiting period, in the cooking period, in the time that you put in the oven and you gotta wait for it to get done, some of us get frustrated and we want to come out the oven, but we're not ready yet. And somehow we are getting frustrated while we're being cooked. And I want to put this in your heart. I want to tell you this. There are certain things that you got to do while you're waiting. Somebody need this message today. There are some things that you need to do while you're waiting. There are some things that you have to show up consistently, dedicate yourself, execute to the highest level, because until you get to that point that you have done your due diligence, like you have sacrificed, you have gave your all, you're not going to be ready until that time comes. And this is the beauty of it. You got to stay ready. You got to be in that position that you're working on your dream. You're keeping that faith knowing it's going to happen. Like, it's going to be the moment that you get blow up. And everybody will say, like, they're going to see that, oh, it could be an overnight success. But there's no overnight success because you got to make a decision you're going to do the work. You got to make a decision that you're going to execute, that you're going to show up even though you don't feel like it. And even though you're not making the money, even though that somehow everything that you want to reap for the rewards, that you got to be very due diligent to be specific and deliberate about what you do. So yeah, there's some things that you can do while you're waiting. You can worship. Come on. I want to give somebody this. Like, I want to get somebody to understand this. There are some things you can do while you're waiting. Like, you can help somebody else. Come on, guys. I want you to understand. While you're waiting to get the reward, there are some things that you can do to execute. and for you to be amazing, like for you to be the head and not the tail, for you to be the world #1 motivational speaker in the world, you got to accept somebody for free. Like, you've got to get that in your position where you understand that all it takes is for you to show up and make your mark. And I want you to know this, that all of us don't want to be average. Like, I know you don't want to be average. You want to be great. Like, you want to be phenomenal. You want to be the guy that you can go to, like Gandhi, like Mother Teresa, like Malcolm X, Oprah Winfrey, those people that have made their mark. I know you got that in you, and you must understand in the process of waiting and in that pain that you feel from day to day, that somehow you're not getting a reward. There are some things that you have to do. And you got to stay consistent. I'm going to tell you this. When you start to worship in your pain, when you start giving the glory to God in your pain, when you start understanding, like when I was hospitalized, right? Go back and check my videos. You'll see it. I was in bed for like, I couldn't stay there. The doctors called me lucky. I was doing push-ups, man. Come on. I was worshiping. I was being grateful. I was filled with gratitude. I made a decision that nothing was going to stop me from being the great human being that I was going to be. So I know COVID couldn't take me out. Like, I'm going to tell you this. I knew COVID couldn't take me out because saying, God, you're not done with me yet. You're just about to take me to another level. You're going to put me in a position where people will understand that I didn't make it. It wasn't an accident that Gershon made to become the #1. He was dedicated. He was doing something while it was in the oven. And some of you don't want to do the work. Some of you don't want to sacrifice. Some of you don't want to dedicate yourself. And I want to tell you this. Like, while you're waiting, don't get frustrated. Start a worship. So I want you to promise me this. No matter how difficult it gets, no matter how frustrating it gets, you're going to do something while you're waiting by serving somebody else, by helping somebody else up. You're going to give God the glory even though you don't feel like it. You're going to show up and execute knowing that your time is coming. Because all of us got to a time, like all of us got something that the world needs. And all you got to understand is that it's not what you do when the reward comes, but what you do before the reward comes. Like, what are you doing before the reward comes? Listen to me very carefully. All of us can be fruitful and multiply. All of us can have that, the abundance, like that abundance that we pray for. All of us can have all that 6-7 figures income. We can have it because there's room at the table. He said he prepared a table in the presence of your enemies. Like, nothing can stop you from getting your reward. So when they hate on me, when they laugh at me, when they call me dunce, harder than a slow, like they say I wouldn't amount to anything. When I was the big kid in the car, I knew that my voice, I knew that greatness is inside of me. And I want to tell you that greatness is inside of you. And all I want to ask you is, what you going to do? Like, what are you going to do to execute? What are you going to do something that nobody else ever done? And in the waiting, I promise you this, like, everything that you pray for will come to pass. Like, it shall surely come to pass. Like, it can happen suddenly. It can happen momentarily. It can happen right now. But the question is, what are you doing while you're waiting? And if you can do everything in your power to execute, like if you could just show up on those days that you don't feel like when the winter, like everybody listen to me very carefully, want that summer body, but they don't want to show up in the winter and execute. You've got to execute even though you don't feel like it. And I'm trying to tell you this, like, all men are created equal. Like, all of us right now, only thing that separates you from the greats, like only thing that separates you from being average is what you do. And while you're waiting for the rewards to come, just make a promise. Like make a promise that you're going to be consistent. Like, make a promise that you're going to dedicate yourself. Like, make a promise. Immerse yourself into your craft. Like, if you're a musician, if you're an actor, whatever it is that you do. Like your boy Dr. G now, they like Les Brown see me coming. They see me coming. Like the Eric Thomason see me coming. Like the Tony Robbins see me coming. Like, I showed up and I execute even though I don't feel like it. Because I understand it's a process. And some of you don't want to go through the process. Some of you don't want to take the steps. But while you're waiting, something happens. Because believe me, before you can get your reward, before you can have all that you dream of, it takes the consistency, it takes dedication, And sometimes you just gotta worship. Like seriously, you gotta give God the glory. Like that's simple. Like like in your pain, like before you can triumph, like before you can have the victory, before you can succeed, before you can get the reward, you just gotta worship. And some of you don't want to worship. You're complaining. You're mourning. You're making excuses. Why? Like let me tell you, still at the moment I stopped asking why, I said why not? Let me tell you something. I realized that I start moving from my pain to purpose. I start moving from average to great. I understood that no matter what I go through, I'm going to go through my go-to. And come on, no matter what I go through, I'm going to go to my go-to, and that's God. That's right. I go to God, and God tells me, Gershom, look, you got this. Because believe me, you're not average. I created you great. Come on, just be great. It's your boy, Dr. G, Love Motivator, saying this from the belly. Like, you were born to be great. You are a masterpiece because you're a piece of the master, and you're not junk. And all you got to do is show up and execute. And promise me this one thing. Like, promise me this one thing. Now, no matter how hard it gets, you're not going to quit. Come on, like, let me tell you this. No matter how difficult it gets, you're not going to quit. And even those days that you don't feel like it, you're going to show up and execute. Look, let me tell you something. Greatness says it's not what you do while the moment comes, but what you do before the moment comes. Come on, like, it's not what you do while the moment comes, but what you do before the moment comes. It's called muscle memory. If you can program yourself, if you could unlock that mindset where you says, look, even though it's cold, I'm still going to go to the gym. Even though I don't feel like it, I'm going to execute. And what you do while you worship, like in that position of that pain, and you start giving God the glory, believe me, he sees you and says, my child, come on, suddenly, come on. Suddenly, immediately, things start to change. And that's what I'm going to tell you that. I know I'm number one. I know I'm the best. But I know while I'm waiting in the process, like while I'm waiting, like there is something I need to do. While I'm waiting, I understand everything going to come to pass. Because I believe that all men are created equal. Is what we do that take us to the next level. Say it from your belly. You know what time it is? It's knockout time. I know it's another Sunday. I'm excited. I'm pumped up. It's your boy, Dr. G. Listen, do what lasts and do what counts. And I guarantee you'll make it. I'm out. Saying, well.